applause, a round of applause, a round of applause.
In this case, it will be a ring of applause.
Oh, a ring, yes. A ring of applause. Heck yes. Sonic nailed it in the ass. Kids, tune off this channel. This video is not for you.
Well, a nail kind of hurts. I would say just at least a plug in the ass, no?
Well, yeah, I don't care, but okay. Video movie, as you can see, we're already shitting all over this video because video movie reviews is something that we typically don't do, but we're doing it in this specific time, obviously because it's a video game related movie review, and we're gonna talk and share our thoughts and our personal theories, whether they're right or wrong, but things that we absorbed from the movie, observations that we picked up from the movie on some clips that we're going to talk about in just a minute.
What is that you call them? Easter eggs?
Easter eggs, yes.
Easter balls.
Yeah, Easter balls. Easter droppings. Oh no, bunny droppings. That's what it is. So, first time doing a movie review, Sonic the movie review.
Yes.
Which did really, really well.
Ring.
Ring. This is what I call a real Sonic team. Mm-hmm. Jeff Fowler, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing his last name.
You probably are.
But all the team behind the redesign of Sonic, the cast, they all did a phenomenal job. And this is not just me speaking as a fan, not as a fanboy. And I'm excited for two things. Because I was right in my box office projections that I did on my last video. Go check out my top 5 Sonic the Hedgehog games, and I'll share those figures in a second. And second, I was kind of right also as well as far as the expectations of where the movie may go to.
Yeah.
The movie universe. So take a look at this. Don't read it.
Okay.
Forbes. Most of you may know it's a really reputable publication, right?
Wow.
Just read that for yourself. Record books with 68 million debut. Not debut. Opening. Debut. Oh, debut. In debut. Yeah, like I said, it was nailed in the debut. Sonic the Hedgehog earned 57 million over its Friday through Sunday opening weekend, besting the 54 million launch of the Detective Pikachu to snag the biggest debut ever for a video game based movie. Heck yes, and that's what I kind of said on my previous video. My personal projections were that this movie should not open with anything less than 50 million. And I reiterate, before the numbers, before the box office comes out, you heard it from me first, I think this movie has potential for a sequel. I'm sure Sonic the Hedgehog has potential to open with a good at least 50 mils. There are the figures. God damn, I'm a freaking like brujo, a sorcerer. Yeah, I can predict the future. Witcher. We gotta finish the series.
Sexiness on.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yes, best video game movie adaptation opening.
Yep.
How about that? Jeff Fowler and cast, awesome. You nailed it in the debut.
In the
debut. So let's jump right into our personal thoughts. Easter eggs, we'll share those towards the end of the video, but for now we're gonna jump into our personal thoughts. Obviously, we went in with neutral expectations, but obviously the movie exceeded those.
And then before you start talking, there goes the spoiler alert.
Oh yes, semi-spoiler alerts. Obviously the numbers reflect that a lot of you went out there and saw it already, but well, there's people who still hasn't had the chance to go out. They didn't get their date
to go see.
Yeah, maybe they were out dating as it was Valentine's weekend, and couples, I don't see a lot of couples going out to see a Sonic the Hedgehog game, but
the ones that have kids.
Yeah, actually I was really happy to see that a lot of kids, newer generation of gamers or Sonic followers, Sonic based fans, went out here and saw the movie, and even though it was a retro movie, but I'll touch into that in just a minute. Give me your first thoughts of the movie.
I think that more than exceeded my expectations. The story, how they started, and how direct they were
Mm-hmm.
as far as the beginnings of Sonic, right?
Mm-hmm.
They started at a good point in his life where they just briefly explained why he came here to Earth.
Yes, and that's something I really liked, how they took that approach. They didn't go so much into the origins of it, and
But they did give you a little brief skim.
Just little nips and picks from, and I think that's a perfect approach when you're building, or when this is your very first movie into a universe, which in this case it's a potential franchise that can take into a multi-universe. I don't know, who knows, but like I said, it has potential, and the way they originated that, the way from the first act, from the opening scene up to the last scene, the post-credit scene, which we'll touch about that, we'll go into that later, that kind of gives it away that they already knew that they can set up something for a sequel in any forthcoming movies. And please do. Obviously, I think, come on, Jeff Fowler, you gotta be pleased with this, and I know you are, and I know you're proud of your product. We are, and we thank you for it. Thank you for taking this ballsy move, which not a lot of people would have. Not a lot of people had confidence, and but I know from the beginning, even with the design, the original Sonic design,
he took a risk in there.
Yeah.
With the first design.
Yeah, but
once they heard.
Yeah, the critique from the
feedback.
And
I'm glad they actually listened, because sometimes they don't give a crap and they just release
that's another round of applause.
They release Sonic looking like Winnie Pooh.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know.
They didn't have listened to.
My God, someone should have listened to it. Yeah, we're talking about the disaster of Winnie the Pooh, or what was it?
The rag.
Robin, Christopher Robin. Those animals were a disaster, freaking rag dolls. So, hey, yeah, I mean, going back to some of the video games movies that have released in the last couple of years. Remember Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad movie, but it was just average. It was okay. The problem with it was the writing, the story, the plot. It's something we had already seen, obviously, in the video games. The Assassin's Creed movie, remember that?
Yeah.
Same thing. Average movie. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great.
It was good scenes, but it's always the story.
Yeah, so, and not that the cast, the actors are bad. Let's just go back to Batman and Robin.
Oh, no.
Let's go back to those movies, which kind of, it was something that I was going to talk to about Jim Carrey's portrayal of Dr. Robotnik. When he's dancing, that solo scene that he had, he took me back to his Riddler days. Which I was going to touch on. Those Batman movies, it's not the actors were bad. Come on, you have Tommy Lee Jones, you have George Clooney, you have Val Kilmer, obviously you have Jim Carrey, you have a great set of actors, but sometimes the writing, the script, and obviously the lines within the script is what shits over the movie. It's not necessarily that they're bad actors, and I see some people already shitting all over Sonic movie because the actors or the acting is bad. And I don't get it. What do you guys expect? Something I briefly mentioned on my top Sonic games is that, I don't know, people expect Oscar-worthy performances on these type of movies. I don't see how is that ever gonna happen. The only two times...
I think that Jim Carrey actually did a good job.
He did a great job.
He actually gave us the whole character and put his own sense of goofiness on it too. I enjoyed his...
It was top notch, and I couldn't have expected better. I couldn't have expected a better casting to do Dr. Robotnik, which Sonic of course called it Dr. Eggman.
I think his hot dog is doing you in.
Yeah. So Jim Carrey's portrayal, it was great. Going back to the first point we made, being kind of an origin story, even though it didn't really go in depth of it. I liked how they went about it, and obviously how he becomes bald. Spoiler alert! How he becomes the look that we all know him for. Who knows if he's gonna be fat in the future? I don't know. Spoiler alert!
I wouldn't think that mushrooms will blow you up that much, but.
Hey, Mushroom Kingdom crossover with Nintendo characters in the future.
And maybe that's why Mario está chonchito.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, yeah, and Dr. Robotnik, spoiler, he's stranded out there on a world where full of mushrooms, and hey, I don't know. Just a wild. This is rather a wild hypothesis, not even a theory, because I don't have facts. I don't have factual things to back it up. So this is just a hypothesis that maybe if the Sonic franchise becomes successful, and with the upcoming Super Mario Brothers movie I don't know, releasing in the next 2 or 3 years, who knows when? I don't know, it's something possible. So let's go into the castings. We're already talking about Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's out of the way. He did an outstanding job. Not a lot of people know the actor who voiced Sonic, Ben Schwartz. Again, forgive me for mispronouncing their last names, but do you know who he is? Well, you're probably gonna know who he is.
If you put a picture, no, that's why.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, oh heck yes, this guy.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Remember him from Parks and Rec?
Yes.
Oh God, just hilarious. So yeah, I loved him as the voice acting of Sonic. He had the perfect sense of tonality in his voice. He just gave the perfect attitude to Sonic. And of course, you have the rest of the cast who did
attitude and confidence.
Yeah, that cocky attitude, but not so much of a narcissist.
Yeah.
But so it was awesome. I think, like I said, they couldn't have done a better job at it. Anything else you want to add to it?
I don't know. I just like the fact that, like I said at the beginning, how they explained, one, if you've never followed, played, or know anything about Sonic, the way that they did the introduction, it really explains to somebody that has no idea what the hell Sonic is. And to me, I like that. Because there is audience, like let's say the grandpas or, you know, the newer generations that don't really know like the whole story of Sonic. And the way they started, it was very, very kid friendly and very generic for every audience to understand.
You know, and that's a great point. That's something that I give them big kudos for, Jeff Felder again. Because they didn't overdo that aspect to it, but they didn't underdo it. And that's something that, as a big DC fan, DC comic fan, it's something that, well, they have dropped the ball, because when you want to develop a universe, it's exact same thing what made Justice League and Batman vs Superman not as successful as they could have been. Because all of a sudden they threw in all these characters. They brought in Cyborg, they brought in Aquaman, and even though they're not primary characters or superheroes that anybody can just call off top of their head, they didn't take the time to develop characters, which they did perfectly on these. They just focused on one character and one antagonist. And like you said, when you want to reach a broader audience that's outside of your target demographic, like in this case in video games, it's a really tough, I would say, especially when you're doing a video game adaptation. I think it's more than a family-oriented movie. There's no way that any grandpa is not gonna enjoy it. Kids, young parents, older parents, and that's where they nailed it. So that's a great point. Justice League, Batman vs Superman.
Some people are like, because I'm not into that.
Yeah,
I would often get those comments like, well, I don't know about that because I'm not into it. I never was into comics. I never was into the movies. I never was into this. And I'm like, how are you not into it? You just gotta go sit down and look at the movie and you'll get the story.
Yeah.
But like my dad would say, well, I fell asleep because I didn't understand what was going on.
Exactly. So, and that's like, okay, let's just go back 1 week from today. Birds of Prey opened with a disastrous 30 million. And I get it. Well, but how come you want to throw in all these movies like Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, when you haven't even taken the time to develop the characters? Like you have, of course, you have Black Canary. Not a lot of people know of her, and you have Enchantress from
Nobody knows who that is.
Suicide Squad. Yes, hardcore comic book fans, enthusiasts, they know these characters. But again, when you want to reach a general audience for you to make your franchise successful, personally, I don't think that's the best approach. And I think Team Sonic, this is my new Team Sonic. That's where they nailed it. Perfect. Which we're gonna go now into kind of Easter eggs, spoilers.
Yes, Easter droppings.
No, bunny droppings.
Bunny droppings and
Easter eggs. Actually, sorry. One more thing. Before we go into the Easter eggs or our personal theories, call me a sensitive ass crying bitch. Call me what you will.
Crying sapo bitch.
Yes, call me a crying sapo bitch, but I teared from the very first second the movie opened. Transitioning from the gameplay 16-bit Sonic the Hedgehog gameplay, and then of course it transitions into the big Sega logo. Oh my god, that made me tear. It made my eyes watery, because that's how you pay homage, that's how you pay tribute, that's how you thank Sega for letting you put their entities, their characters into having the faith for you being able to do a good job, which you end up doing at the end. You guys did, and that made me teary.
I even was like,
I'm like, oh my god, that's how you do it. That's how you are thankful. That's how
you're starting 10 seconds into the movie. Like, that's it. I'm crying already.
Oh, this is too painful. This is too much nostalgia for me already.
And I thought it was a jalapeno.
Yeah, it wasn't the nachos with the extra jalapenos I ate. No. So, Easter eggs. Opening scene. When Baby Sonic is running away from the creatures and he goes into the treehouse with the owl.
Yeah.
You see all of these creatures.
The little tribe-looking things.
Yeah, the tribe-looking things.
Bunga, bunga.
Yeah, you wonder what the hell are these guys, right?
Yep.
Very first thing I noticed, as they took another angle at one of these creatures, I'm like, that's got to be Knuckles. How is it not, right? You have the dreads, the hair. This is the only character that has this type of hair in the Sonic universe. Everybody else has the spiky hair, or like
the Goku looking.
Goku looking, like Amy. Everyone, all the other characters did. So, and of course, spoiler alert, you got Tails at the end.
Yes.
Yeah, I think kids were excited. I heard some kids screaming on the auditorium.
Chawewe was like, yeah!
And then of course you got this closer look. Come on, how can you not tell? I could be wrong, okay? But if they're setting up for a sequel where Knuckles is gonna be the antagonist, many of you didn't know, Sonic was a bad guy at some point before he became allies with Sonic. But take a look at these.
You meant Knuckles was an ally.
Well,
before
I'm sorry,
an enemy before he became friends with
Sonic. Sorry, I don't know what I just said, but that's what I meant to say. Knuckles was an antagonist.
Yes.
Before he became an ally. So take a look closer at this pic. You have his hair.
I mean, that's the only thing that I can see there.
Oh, but hold on. Let's take a closer look over.
Oh, I thought you were gonna zoom into his eyes. I'm like, they all look the same.
Whoa, no, look at that right there.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Right there. His glove.
Is that not a Knuckle tribe, whatever it could be? I mean, come on.
And they all have.
And they all have that.
Yeah.
So, come on. This is gonna be kind of a setup, obviously along with the post-credit scene, that they're gonna go back to the Green Hill universe, not the human Green Hills. That's where they kind of touch, and that's what some people may have got confused. No, the human world was Green Hills.
Which
Sonic
is
World,
a little
Green
village.
Hill.
Yeah.
So that's the difference, and it's gonna be really interesting. And how is that gonna come about when they start again to bring characters one at a time? Character development. You got a little bit of Tails at the end. You got a little bit of Knuckles. If my theory, it's right on these screenshots that we
Which
just
you always
showed
are right because you're the butcher.
Well, not necessarily. That's why sometimes I try to refrain from doing these movie reviews, because I've been wrong. Like I was in Spider-Man, but hey, that's my personal theories.
I mean, that's definitely Knuckles, just by what you just pointed out. I didn't see that. I mean, I assumed, like you said, because of the dreads. And at first I was like, is that Shadow?
Yeah,
right?
you did say it could have been
Shadow. And then on that second look, I'm like, nah, that's not Shadow.
Yeah, and it might have been too quick to introduce a Shadow because he came later in the timeline. So, and I think that's, again, they nailed it, and how they're gonna come about on introducing the characters. Jeff Fowler, thank you for listening to all the constructive criticism that you heard from last year and redesigning that. Thank you for taking the time, and for all the Sonic fans, you guys, if you haven't seen it, you gotta go see it. It's a great movie. Come on, numbers speak volume, and that was the best video game movie opening of all time. Better than Pikachu. And come on, and that was a great movie. Actually, you know what? I like better Detective Pikachu better than Tomb Raider, better than Assassin's Creed. And you know me, I'm a freaking big fanatic of both of these franchises, Assassin's Creed and Tomb Raiders. I have all of their games, or I think all of their games, just about. So you can't miss not to go see Sonic. I kind of want to go see it a second time, so just to try to catch more Easter eggs.
Yeah, or you can just buy the movie.
I will. Of course I will.
And watch it every day.
Yes, take my money. That's how you support these kind of franchises, these products, these entities. That's something I was looking for.
Entities. What?
Yeah, entities. So that's what I meant to say, that they pay homage to Sega for entrusting Jeff Fowler on their entity of Sonic. Thank you. There you go. It came out just as I wanted to.
Yeah.
Well, just like there's pros, there's always cons, and I only have one minor one. Even though I don't care, but it wasn't a big con for me. But I think the movie was just maybe a few minutes shorter than I was expecting. The time length of it was perfect. I'm just saying, just in my personal preference, maybe they could have thrown maybe make the final battle, the final act, a bit longer. I don't know, but it was great though. I'm not complaining over that, but me as a fanatic, I wanted to see more. I wanted to see more.
They probably thought the same, but at the same time, when you have something good, you already have a good product, and you try to make it better, and instead of making it better, you shit all over it.
Yes.
I think that's the reason why they didn't do that.
Exactly. No, I couldn't agree more. Yes.
I feel like they saw it, they said this is a good thing, and they might have had somebody in the panel say, hey, well, maybe we can, elaborate more on this.
Yes,
or
of course.
Add a little more guacamole and salsa on this. Guac. That's a thing for him.
But
you know what I mean.
Yes.
And they probably elaborated, there's movies that they give you like a second, a third.
Yeah, they derail themselves to something else pointless.
So I'm glad they did that the way they did it, and it's a good time for a movie spam with children.
It was great. Yes.
All the kids that I saw on that auditorium,
yes,
they were literally paying attention. They were into the movie, and it was just the perfect length.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yes, even though, like I said, it was just my personal thing. But yes, actually, that was because obviously you got the majority of the target audience is kids, and I think that was the perfect time length of it. Yeah. So overall, I think they touched upon everything that Sonic is perfectly. Let's just put it for the sakes of this conversation, a speedster.
Yes, just like the reference they made for Flash.
For everything, yeah. No, you were gonna say.
I actually like that. the way that, first of all, no, like he starts reading through the comics just the same way that Flash actually reads his books, which I thought it was funny.
So another kind of a spoiler. You were gonna touch upon the point of him being a speedster. You know, yeah, when they're at the bar and he's like, "Oh, here we go again." I think those were his words, right? And everything just stops completely in motion.
And then they're like, it reminded me a lot of Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to be honest,
and
like
Quicksilver
the way that,
too, because there's a what is it, X-Men Origins? Forgive me, I don't recall the exact X-Men movie, but there's another scene of it just like it, where Quicksilver is going around the room, same thing, doing what he's doing his thing, and of course because these characters, either Flash, Quicksilver, or Sonic, they're too fast. People in real time can't perceive how fast they're going, so by the time they want to actually throw a punch or whatever, he already did his disaster, his chaos around.
Which I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, now my question to you is, who's faster?
Of what?
Flash or Sonic?
Well, Flash can travel through time.
Well, I'm pretty sure Sonic can too. He's so used to having to hold back so much because after he goes, you know, like he did at the baseball field, and after he goes through that, like he surpasses his.
He generates a sonic boom.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. If he's holding back because he doesn't want to make a disaster, what can he do, or how far can he get if he actually doesn't hold back?
But you reminded me of something that I wanted to touch on just earlier, and I almost forgot about it. This is the very first Sonic movie. It's just Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
Second movie or second game, which obviously there's no reason for them not to make a sequel.
Yeah.
They're gonna bring in Tails, which is Sonic 2, where they introduce Sonic 2.
Tails
and then Sonic 3, of course, you have the introduction of Knuckles. Right? Well, it was Sonic and Knuckles.
I think that Knuckles will eventually end up being in Sonic 2.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Or
like
Tails,
I said, like
or
an
whatever
antagonist.
they're gonna name it, right?
So, with the point that you were saying, in Sonic 2, that's where they introduced Super Sonic. Obviously, they didn't say anything, they didn't reference anything as far as him having accessibility to the Chaos Emeralds, which gives him the power of becoming Super Sonic. And that will be a really interesting concept to see in the sequel. And I keep saying sequel as if I'm sure they're gonna make it, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna make it.
They better make it, because why wouldn't they? If they put Tails out there and they give you that hint to see what's gonna happen next, it would be really stupid if they don't.
Well, that was a ballsy move. Again, I gotta say, because a lot of movies are gonna have these post-credit scenes where you're making the audience think, oh yeah, there's a sequel coming, and it never comes. Let's just go back to Tomb Raider. And the post-credit scenes when she pulls out the two guns, which is a reference to the very first Tomb Raider game, we haven't heard of any sequel. Again, like I said, the movie was average. It wasn't bad, but who knows? Based on the numbers, they're not sure if they're gonna. But with this being the best video game adaptation movie of all time ever, why not? And of course, I said that was a ballsy move because they didn't know how well it was gonna do, how well it was gonna open, and now they have the perfect foundation to work on a sequel, if not 2 more sequels. So yes, setting up.
I mean, come on, if they did that with Fast and Furious, what, 10, 11, 12, 20?
Oh my
Why
God.
wouldn't they not do this to Sonic?
Thank you.
Come on, dude.
Oh my God, I didn't want to touch upon that, but thank you. Come on, those movies have just after Tokyo Drift, maybe Fast 4, Fast 5, everything went like that. They just got stupid. Oh.
You're stupid now.
Yes, I'm stupid because I'm gonna go see Fast 9. Only because of John Cena! Oh, and because Han is coming back. That's it. I don't care about the movie. I just want to see how he comes back. And because of John Cena! I really don't give two shits about the Fast and Furious franchise anymore. I don't, but
come on, see or no?
Yeah, no.
If they
really.
actually have made that many movies for them,
Yeah.
why would they not do this to Sonic? I mean, not to
Because
shit all over it, right? But I'm saying the perfect amount of movies to finish the story.
Yeah, but the perfect franchises. Good thing you touch about that point. Let me just give you a few examples. Back to the Future,
Oh, yeah.
perfect trilogy. Leave that untouched as it is. Star Wars, the original trilogy, okay? Episodes 4, 5, and 6. And then came the pre-trilogy, and then now that you have episodes 7, 8, and 9, they were alright, but the original, that's it. That's the golden one. Indiana Jones, same thing. Now they released the last one in the last 3 years. I don't know. Oh my god, just okay.
So you have to leave it as it is.
So you have all these franchises that became a perfect trilogy, and I wouldn't be surprised if they cut this at the third or fourth, maybe tops, depending on how they go about it. But I think, thank you for touching upon that, because I almost forgot to reference that, and just trying to give you different points of view on how I see movies that I'm kind of attracted to go see, and well, from either just a general audience point of view or from a fanatic point of view.
Yeah. Well, you didn't answer me.
What?
Who do you think is faster?
Oh, I did. Well, not really. Well, I would say Flash at this point, because Quicksilver, not that I know. Maybe he can travel through time. I do not know. Sonic, we will not know until, not that I know that he can travel through time either.
But with what you see that he projected in the movie, I think that since he's holding back so much,
and he was at the end, final act.
Yeah,
final
he was
act.
holding back so much. I feel that he can actually open up a portal if he really wanted to.
Well, he has the rings.
Well, I know, but even if he didn't have the rings,
which is something
just like Flash, you know, with the speed, he opens up the portal. I think that if you put Sonic into his full potential,
yeah, but these are different dynamics that Sonic, you may have to see Sonic work into it either through the ring portals or through becoming a Super Sonic. We'll see. I don't know. So for now, I'm gonna stick with Flash, just based on what I know from the characters. But I hope to see a Super Sonic. And until next time, you better go catch the movie. Don't be hesitant about it, because I know even you retro gamers were hesitant about it based on the videos that I've seen around on social media. You gotta go see it. It's satisfying. Okay, you won't be disappointed. I don't know what your specific expectations are, but it's a good movie. Come on, Forbes. The most Forbes, the most reputable, one of the most reputable publications in the world. It's telling you that it's the best video game ever.
What about Rotten Tomatoes?
Hell yes! I don't care about Rotten Tomatoes. I think they had like a 68%, but I hate Rotten Tomatoes. I personally do.
I feel like they're not accurate.
They're never accurate. No, of course not. But because always that you have the Rotten Tomatoes score and you have the audience score, and of course the audience score always typically tends to be higher. I mean, come on, Sharknado has a better percentage than Batman vs Superman.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Better than Justice League.
And that's when you say,
come on,
bullshit.
That's bullshit, fool. No. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say about Rotten Tomatoes. No. Don't even
listen to them. It's like Wikipedia.
Just do your own. You do your own review. If you want to see a movie, go see it. If you're hesitant because of someone else's review, then that's where you're wrong. Okay, you're not being open-minded, especially with these type of franchises, whether they're video game adaptation, just cartoon adaptations, comic book adaptations. Okay, you just gotta be open-minded, and that's where me personally as a fan, I've been pleased on these video game movie adaptations. Even if the movies like Assassin's Creed and Tomb Raider haven't been great, I've been pleased with it. I've been okay with it. And Sonic,
you came out of it
hell
like,
yes. Hell yes, yes.
and from that one, you're like,
Yeah, new Team Sonic. Hell
Hell
yes, you nailed it in the ring. Thank you guys. Thank you.
a ring plus,
A ring of applause.
and then go into the portal.
Yeah. Till next time. Thank you.